Welcome into the DNVR Rockies podcast brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Now when you use promo code DNVR, new customers can make any $5 NBA moneyline bet and get $200 in free bets if your team wins. That's code DNVR only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. I am Patrick Lyons.
I'm Suzie Hunter. Patrick, I love how we start our shows in the weirdest moods by talking about the absolute weirdest stuff just seconds before we go live.
That helps keep things loose a little bit.
Keeps things loose.
Keeps it fresh.
Keeps me weird. Keeps me off my game. I love it.
Okay,
Man.
no, we have to get the audience in on this. They have to know that Susie's never seen a Star Wars.
And he's never seen a Star Wars.
Star Wars.
We'll see if we have some time at the end of the show to break down what we've consumed as consumers and what midnight events have we gone to, because it's going to be a big midnight event that it's very exclusive. You're going to be there. You're going to be attending because it's your thing. But
we're talking about the event that I'm hosting.
Yes.
The Taylor Swift watch party, release party.
We'll make some time at the
at
the end of the show, but of course we'll break down the postseason, everything that's going on, and the fact that the Dodgers are no longer with us.
R.I.P.
And the Padres are. Is that a good thing? Look, we kind of warned about that.
Yes.
We'll break into those things. Kris Bryant made some interesting comments this past week, and there's something that the three championship league or championship series teams have in common right now. We're still waiting to see what happens between the Guardians and the Yankees. But happy 15th anniversary for the Rocktober Rockies of them getting into the World Series.
For attending the World Series. I can't believe it's been 15 years.
Yeah. Free article up on the DNVR.com how Sunday morning would have been the anniversary of 15 years that you would have woken up and said, holy crap, my team just won the NLCS last night. So right now we are in a week-long span plus of that period of time in which the Rockies were in the World Series and they hadn't lost a game in the World Series and hadn't been swept in the World Series. So 15 years ago to right now was an amazing time.
What an amazing time. And of course, all of that downtime probably didn't do them any favors. And I feel like we're seeing that in this postseason where the teams that had the buys, they did not benefit from that.
No, certainly not in the National League where the two home teams have subsequently been bounced. The offenses, did maybe take a hit, and we saw that happen with the Rockies. I'm wondering if later this week we should do a DNVR retro episode in black and white, and we just talk about all things 2007. We're like, Brad Hop's going off right now on DraftKings Sportsbook. I got Brad Hop over under on 1.5 home runs in this World Series. It's going to go 7, so he's going to have a lot of opportunities. That would be kind of cool.
Oh, I actually love the idea of doing a skit like that. That would be so fun. It has to be in black and white. I'll get rid of my iPhone and bring back my Motorola Razr.
We should have like monitors on our lap with the keyboard off to the side. Like that would be great. And you know what would be even better? And we'll have to look it up. Maybe super producer Kale can look it up. What if Taylor Swift also, like, her first album came out?
I mean,
in October.
Her albums came out around that time.
That's what I'm saying. Like, well, we'll have to see what kind of parallels were going on.
I'm already looking it up while we're in our show.
We could trash talk the Red Sox a whole bunch, but yeah, it's 15th anniversary of that. It was a perfect time in Denver sports right around now. 15 years ago, perfect players right now in the organization. Zach Veen.
Ooh,
friggin' perfect. He's 20 years old right now. We did see him struggle a little bit at the end of the season in AA, but did kind of force the Rockies' hands. Like, he's moving up a lot quicker than I think a lot of people maybe in the organization were really anticipating. But the average age of an Arizona Fall League participant is 22 years old. He's 2 years younger than these guys that he is frankly dominating against. He was the player of the week. He's a baby boy.
He's
baby
a baby
bean.
boy. Baby bean.
He was the player of the week for the first week in the Arizona Fall League, and he followed that up with some even more fantastic play. He's second right now in OPS in the league, 2 doubles, a homer, 8 RBI, has 8 stolen bases, has only been caught once, and then maybe even better than that. I love that against players who are older than him. 7 walks to only 2 strikeouts. So he's
Wow.
putting the ball in play. He's dominating right now.
Yeah, I love that. And, I know a lot of the articles that I've seen on him recently mention how, he's had that, little rougher start in AA, but that's so common.
Yeah.
It would be weird if he was just like showing up in AA and like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what if he starts his season off that way? Because I'm not sure how long he was up in AA for. It was maybe like around 3 weeks.
Yeah, it was really
It
very
wasn't
brief,
that long, so
very
it's a
brief.
smaller sample size.
Very small sample size.
And the strange thing too about it is, and maybe I'm finagling it too much, but by that point in the year in AA, the guys that are in AA aren't the guys who started the year in AA. The guys who started the year in AA that are doing well have already advanced to AAA and already in the majors. So really, you're just looking at some kind of amalgamation of high A and AA guys.
Yeah.
Which almost makes you go, oh, that's even worse because it's not even true AA. It maybe leans slightly younger. But bottom line is a small sample size.
Small sample size,
Yeah,
for sure.
It's definitely nothing to worry about. On the flip side, as far as guys that have been entirely overlooked, Sean Bouchard was a guest last week on the Drew Goodman podcast. Always listen to that. I'm listener number 1.
Yes.
Thursday morning when it drops, I'm there. It was cool because Goody even asked him about the Joe Musgrove incident where he got his ears all fondled because, Bouchard grew up as a Padres fan and, had some interesting comments about that. And, frankly, just said, both sides do this kind of thing, and it does keep the hitter safe, too. If you've got a little bit extra stick on your hands, that means you're going to be able to command the ball a little bit better. You're going to control it, and guys aren't going to be taking it in the ear with a fastball as opposed to an umpire's fingers. I'd rather have an umpire's fingers in my ear than a fastball up there.
Yeah, I guess so.
Not so much a hot take, just as it is the reality of
Just
of
the
the
way
world that we
you
live
worded
in.
it is so interesting. Like, yeah, I'd rather have the ump's fingers all up in my ears.
Those fingers are coming in like, 30 miles an hour? Fastball, a lot harder.
Fingers are coming in at 30 miles an hour?
At tops, right? Not 90. They're not coming in at 90. You know what I'm saying?
We need a radar gun.
I might have been more of an off-speed fingering of the lobes there. I'm not sure. We'll have to go back and get a breakdown of that one. But Kris Bryant, as you saw in our thumbnail. Okay, KB.
Okay, KB.
Said some interesting things. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and right away almost throw a little water on the situation because I think anytime you take something out of context for a player who either has a bad performance, in this case, a bad season, and again, not bad season performance-wise. It was just that he was hurt. You're looking almost to have a problem with something, I feel like, in a way. And if you just say something that's even slightly left of center, people, I think, are going to have issue with it. Did you have any issues initially when you read the quotes? Or I imagine you weren't like, yeah, that's totally cool. Maybe it might be a little frustrating, I guess, right?
I mean, I feel like anytime I think about Kris Bryant in the first place, I'm just uneasy because of this like really rocky first year of him in Colorado. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that not a good time for him. He didn't get the start that he wanted to get. I think we expected him to be a leader, and that's not really the case this season. And I know some of that was in Danielle Allentuck's article because she had a great convo with him.
Yeah, he one of the first quotes actually, dealt with that a lot. And as you said, not a great year for Kris Bryant, not a great year for the organization in multiple different ways.
Yeah.
Probably more importantly than any other is just the win-loss record. We said, quote, obviously it's much easier to lead when you're actually playing. Being a new player here with someone like Charlie Blackmon, the other veterans, you don't want to step on anyone's toes. And so and we kind of experienced this, and it's just strange. It's just strange. He's in the locker room, signs a $182 million deal, but he's just there. In body, maybe kind of in spirit, but not in any kind of capacity. Again, that he's making an impact on the players. Like, hey, you guys got to do this. He's there. I don't know. I didn't really see him interact too much with other guys.
That's the thing. Yeah, I really didn't see. And I mean, maybe he saves it for the moments that,
Exactly.
the clubhouse isn't open for the media.
That's right.
So we don't know. But when we're in there, I don't see a lot of him. I don't see a lot of interaction.
Yeah. And a lot of that was, he's injured. He's on the
Yeah.
table doing the rehabilitation thing. So that was definitely kind of strange. And I think probably even more frustrating beyond that. And again, as we've kind of noted, there's a lot that we don't get to see.
Yes.
We get to see a lot, and there's even more, way more, that we don't get to see. We're not on the plane. We're not dressing up as a shark or pirates, doing the thing that the rookies have to do. We're not going to Dunkin' Donuts carrying a box of donuts.
Oh my gosh.
Like
you
a serial killer. You didn't get to that yet.
You didn't put me through any rookie initiation.
Okay. You're right. You know what?
Am I supposed to dress up as a shark on the show?
A, I'm too nice, and B, I will now. So it's the best of both worlds. I still get to be a nice guy, and then I get to run you through it.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm still trying to do the
All
math
right.
on how you get to be both of those things, but
It did make sense for me, and I've realized at the end of the day, I think that's all that matters. But I think if we're wrong, and you know what, we did see plenty to suggest he kind of hasn't really injected himself into the culture of the clubhouse. Well, that makes next year like his first year, even though it's his second year, and even though they've already paid him really well, and there could be a transition period, and then they get off to a slow start, or they get off to a hot start and then slow down, and you go, well, hey, look, Kris Bryant, this is still his first season, first full season, and it's like these built-in excuses that you could really start to see, coming. But again, until we get there, we don't really know necessarily what's going to happen. But you would have liked for him to have been a little bit more integral in the fabric of that culture.
But you know what? When you do think about it, I feel like there's a lot of value to reading the vibe, showing up somewhere, knowing that a lot of these guys have been together, playing together for a long time, and he's going to step back and read the room, read the vibe. And then next year, maybe insert himself a little more, be more of that leader when he
No, that's very fair.
Very Colorado of him to just read the vibe.
And he loves he loves the vibes in Colorado.
He loves it.
No, but I think that's a really good take too, because how much can he say if he's not out there on the field?
Yeah.
How much can he say when Charlie Blackmon is clearly the scout leader of the team? And there are other guys, and there's Lucas Gilbert. He's getting the Crocs, and he's getting the shirt.
Lucas Gilbert
there's
is
never
the
a
chief
doubt.
fun officer.
He is,
He
and
the
he's
CFO.
from Colorado, and you've got Kyle Freeland also doing it too. So you're like, where can he fit in? I'm sure he found those spots, and he understands. And we do actually know a little something behind the scenes where he took care of some people and did understand his role a little bit there, if you recall a little behind the scenes story that we got. So yes, I think it'll be all well and good. So it was what else is he going to say? No regrets. I mean,
no regrets.
Because he can't control himself getting hurt.
Oh, Kale, we should have had you Photoshop that tattoo onto Kris Bryant.
No regrets.
No regrets.
Yeah. He did also say, as far as having any regrets, none at all, outside of being injured and not playing baseball. This was one of the most fun, enjoyable years of playing baseball that I've had. I'm just step out of that quote and remind people he did win the first World Series in 108 years in the city of Chicago. But he continues by saying, I look at some of the other suitors I was talking to in the offseason. There's no way I would want to be there every day. So, okay. We don't know who those suitors were necessarily. The Yomiuri Giants? Yeah, I would think not as much fun being over there in Tokyo as it probably would be in Colorado.
Yeah.
It sounds like a nice way to say that it's a nice place to come to work every day, which maybe he just really loves living in Colorado.
He does.
Yeah.
He legit does.
He's just vibing, He showed up. He's like, let me just chill this year. No, I know that's not what's going through his head, but
Yeah. No regrets.
no regrets.
Kris
Kale, we're
Bryant
going to need that
podcast.
Photoshopped for later. Maybe for Twitter.
Okay, I'm on it.
Thank you.
Kale, you're going to have it ready by Wednesday. I got to put a deadline on because Wednesday is the day Nuggets open the season watch party here at the DNVR Bar on the corner of Colfax in York. It is going to be popping off. Members, you get 15% off your entire tab. Literally, that's crazy. 50 cents for your first month or an annual membership. You get a free shirt in addition to the 15% off your entire tab for your entire party. You're going to get extra raffle tickets when you're down here at the bar during any of our watch parties. That goes for Broncos, which is going down, of course, on Monday night here at the bar. Avalanche as well. Tailgates, you get price breaks down over at the Sports Fan on the corner of 18th and Federal. So that's popping off with Mile High sliders. Susie would be glad to take your money if you want to play a little cornhole. She will dominate after she loses the first 2 games, and then immediately takes your money, goes double or nothing.
Actually, I'm not going to lie. The last tailgate that I went to, I was kind of dominating at Pong.
Yeah. Were you good at beer pong player too back in the day? I
You know
wasn't.
what? It all depends.
Yeah.
It all depends. Some days I'm on.
You're league average.
Some days I'm real off. I'm league average.
Okay.
I'm league average. But I was well above league average last tailgate I was at.
You were, an average par player. And when I say par, I don't mean golf. I mean pong above replacement.
Thank you.
When it comes to baseball. Look, as we said, Nuggets going down Wednesday night. The wait is over. Basketball is back, so tip off the season with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. New customers can make any $5 NBA moneyline bet and get $200 in free bets if your team wins. And check this out. In addition to the usual bets, everyone can boost their winnings up to 100% with DraftKings stepped up same game parlays. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app, opt in, and place a stepped-up same-game parlay today with bigger payouts, bigger than ever. DraftKings Sportsbook is where I'm going to bet on the NBA. I think Friday they go against the Warriors. That's the one I might even be kind of more hyped up for.
Yeah.
That's going to be the big one. I know that I'm going to be going a little bit more hard in on so I can kind of enjoy the game on Wednesday. And then, okay, I'm making my bets for game 2, so I kind of enjoy it less, so to speak. I'm a little less on edge. Opening night is opening night. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code DNVR. Make any $5 NBA moneyline bet this week and get $200 in free bets if your team wins. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. With promo code DNVR, minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. And San Diego and Philly, we'll talk about that more tomorrow. We're going to break that down.
Fine. We'll talk about it tomorrow.
We'll get into how they got there in just a second. But San Diego has home field advantage right now. Yu Darvish is on the hill. We don't know who's going for Philadelphia. That being said, it's kind of hard to pass up the home dog, at least as far as the run line goes. Philly, I think, is minus 200 with a 1.5 run line. I'm going to take San Diego. It sounds crazy to say that I'm actually going to pull for the Padres, but look, I'm going where my money's at. I'm taking the home dog with the run line, giving 1.5. It's plus 170. I got to do it. It feels gross to say, but my DraftKings Sportsbook pick of the week, Padres with the run line at plus 170.
I'm going to take off my Colorado hat and put on my Philly hat. Patrick, that is the most disgusting thing you've ever said. And I will be fist fighting you after the show. Okay. Philly hat off, Colorado hat back on.
You've heard me say some disgusting. Actually, you haven't.
No, I really
So that
haven't.
is a very true statement. That is actually a very true statement. Man, Guardians and Yankees. That's the only one that's going to go all 5. It's been exciting. Game 4 last night. Josh Naylor. That was a celebration around the bases.
Ooh.
Rocking the baby. He was even straight up like yelling in the pictures.
You're my effing son.
He's been doing like
what
all
it seems
season.
like he was yelling.
Oh, it was more than seems.
What it
Wow.
seems.
Yeah, he is a beast. He's been doing that a lot this year.
That moment would have been a lot more fun if the Guardians won that game.
Yes. Do you realize that I tweeted this out at some point last week? There are more San Diego homegrown players. So guys that were either drafted by San Diego or were signed as international free agents. There's more right now on the Cleveland roster than there are on the Padres.
Oh my
So
God.
there's 5 guys on San Diego. There were 3 on Seattle when they were still in it. There's only 3 on San Diego. Actually, I looked at the roster. They updated it for the NLCS, and now they're down to 2. So,
wow.
They've gotten their guys in trades. We'll get into that in a little bit. Walk-off for Game 3, Guardians, Oscar Gonzalez. Oof. How many... this went viral. There were how many different videos of Yankees watch parties of sad Yankees boys after Oscar Gonzalez hit that walk-off in Cleveland? How many different streams did you get? You're like, good Lord.
Oh my gosh, they were so sad.
There were at least 3 different Yankee streams that I saw of sad Yankee boys.
Oh my gosh. And yeah, it was such a shocking moment too.
Especially when you consider, and you don't have to know the history to know, Mariano Rivera's there forever. I mean, 27 World Series, it means you've won a lot of postseason games, and you're doing it because you're just good, not because you're maybe doing it late in a ball game because it's so close. They've been a dominant franchise, at least before the expansion era. They were 167-0 when leading by multiple runs entering the ninth. Think about that.
Until this weekend.
Until SpongeBob SquarePants plays at Progressive Field, and now SpongeBob is the vibe right now in all of Cleveland. Oscar Gonzalez does it. 2 walk-offs in the same postseason. First time in Cleveland's somewhat storied postseason history. I say somewhat because we know they haven't won a World Series since 1948. So
it's a long time.
It's a long time. It's not storied, but it is. It does go back just a little bit. And of course, Garrett Cole earning that paycheck.
Yes.
Now, let's face it too. When guys sign free agent deals, at least in baseball, they're mostly signing for the regular season, not so much for the postseason. We'll see if that changes a little bit with this new playoff format, as you kind of pointed out, Susie, with the 2 teams that got a bye and we're just kind of sitting there for 5 days or so. Dodgers being out, and of course with the Phillies taking out Atlanta.
Yeah.
That being the case, we'll see what happens with the Yankees tonight in Game 5. 2 pitchers who have very challenging last names to pronounce. I think I worked with my father for about 15 minutes for him to pronounce Jameson Taillon's name, because there's 2 L's in his name. You wouldn't think it was Taillon. And then Aaron Civili didn't know until last night, because I thought that's Italian. It's probably Savale. According to Baseball Reference, it's pronounced Civili.
Interesting.
That one I didn't even know.
I learned something new. And
he's been on my radar for a couple of years. He's, again, another one of those guys for Cleveland that you don't necessarily know who they are, but they're posting each and every year. 5:07 tonight on TBS.
I'm concerned, though, because the weather forecast does not look good in the Bronx. So, this game the series is already a day behind because of the weather in New York. Was it Friday? It might have been Friday. But, yeah, if they don't get this game in, they've already had a rain delay once. Why can't they just stay in Cleveland?
I don't know. How about this?
Why can't they just stay so we can get this over with?
If you made a team of the Newland Yankees, all-stars of the Yankees and the Guardians, could they beat the Houston Astros?
Oh, yes.
Probably.
Yes, absolutely.
I would think at this point, right? I mean, if you would have even said...
So basically, I just want actually the Cleveland Guardians and Aaron Judge, and that's it.
Okay.
He carried that team.
Let me think about that. Yeah, kind of. Hey, Garrett Cole. I think we'll give Garrett Cole a start.
I'll take Garrett Cole. Everyone else stay home.
Monty Peralta, we might use you in the 7th inning. You're not going to be closing out games like in Game 4. Honestly, that's a great starting point, and then just take 5 minutes and see if you missed anybody else.
Yeah.
You may have actually just nailed it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to my future career as a manager.
As a fantasy manager, the Cleveland Judges. That's it. Done. We're good.
Cleveland Judges.
Maybe they beat the Astros because they are waiting. Game 1 for the ALCS will go down on Wednesday night. Winner of Cleveland, New York, of course. Houston gets it done in crazy fashion.
Crazy.
I mean, we should be talking about it from the aspect of, the Astros going to their 6th consecutive ALCS. That's never happened before. No team has ever done that. 6 consecutive. Show some respect, but really, hey, the AL Rockies, DNVR Mariners, RIP. That was why
it broke my heart.
I know. Well, that was why when we started the whole thing, I was like, we got to get some caveats, because what if the Jays beat the Mariners? The Jays are fun. We could root for them. But then I also threw in Cleveland as a maybe.
Yes.
So we almost have to hope for Cleveland to win tonight.
Right now, Cleveland is our official AL team.
Other than that,
everyone else is so unlikable. But oh my gosh, I hardly caught any of that Yankees Cleveland game because of how long the Mariners Astros game was.
Yes,
because they were airing on the same network.
18
innings. 18 innings and a broken heart at the end of it.
They were only 3 innings away from their 3rd take me out to the ball game.
Oh my gosh, that's so true.
Is amazing. 6 hours, 22 minutes. I did have to look it up for Rockies fans out there who are curious. I love to got to interject, the Rockies because
of course we are a Rockies podcast,
look,
even though we're also a Cleveland podcast.
If you're listening to this, you're probably more of a baseball fan than you are a Rockies fan at this point. Any self-respecting Rockies fan, you know what? You're probably a self-loathing Broncos fan right now. Oh my God, Kale, what's gonna happen tonight on Monday Night Football? We still got more baseball.
Don't
talk,
ask me. I'm sad about the Broncos right now.
He's sad boy Kale this season.
Yeah, I think the Broncos are probably gonna lose tonight, and it's gonna be really sad because then they're gonna fall to 2-4, and it's gonna be real sad.
Oh my God, Kale, you look so sad right now.
It's because I am sad.
I know you are.
What's worse, the fact that they may lose tonight or that it's another game, even if they win it on national television? You're like,
we have been an embarrassment on national TV so far. So,
well, don't worry, the Rockies are not an embarrassment at all. Maybe that's what the front office thinks because they can't get on national television.
I say that.
The Rockies can't get on national television. So I'm thinking, using your logic, Kale, which is great logic.
It was a good thing the Rockies weren't on national TV this year. I will say that. It was a good thing.
They are not an embarrassment because you look at the Broncos and you go, see, we're not that.
You can't embarrass yourself if no one wants to look at you.
It's true. If you're standing in the corner, your pants wet down the front.
What?
All right.
My God.
So the longest. Oh, thanks for asking, Suzie. What's the longest Rockies game ever? 2014. Two awful teams, Rockies, Cubs, 6 hours, 27 minutes. There's only 16 innings, but that was the longest. They had another 6-hour game, but yeah, that's just crazy. Cal Raleigh, aka Big Dumper.
Big Dumper.
Big
yes.
Dumper. He caught all 18 innings. That's the only fourth time that's ever happened where catchers caught 18 plus more. I think Buster Posey might have been the last guy ever
Thoughts
to do
and prayers
that.
for his knees.
Oh.
Get that guy some ice packs.
And his nephews. That's just quick
my
wordplay.
God.
Last 18 postseason game. That was so quick, Kale didn't even pick it up. Was Game 3 of the 2018 World Series, Red Sox-Dodgers.
Heard it. He just hated it.
Kale, did you hear what I did there? It was really quick.
I did not.
Let's do it again. Let's do it. Cal Raleigh caught all 18 innings of that game.
Wow. Thoughts and prayers for his knees.
And his nephews.
Yeah.
He didn't get it. We'll explain to you later.
No, he gets it.
I get it.
I don't think he does.
I get it.
I don't think he does. Because he didn't ball out laughing. So obviously that's the only explanation.
That's like what my dad does. He'll say a joke, joke and no one laughs at it. And then he'll just say it again because he assumes no one heard it.
Oh, I would have liked it better if he's just doubling down, screw you guys, I'm going to say it again.
I mean, maybe it's a little bit of that too.
It could be. I respect that.
Yeah.
I respect that. Doubling down, no, you're wrong.
You're wrong.
You're wrong. I'm gonna hit you again with that punchline.
Sometimes my dad has jokes. You guys heard it.
I like it. Jeremy Pena was clutch again in that series, third rookie, with an extra inning postseason homer to go along with Oscar Gonzalez. So 2 of the last 3 extra inning postseason homers actually come this past week. So we've got the Mariners make their first postseason since 2001. Mm-hmm. They have their first postseason game at home since 2001. So now next year, we're going to say, hey, first, if they make the postseason again, first postseason since 2022 or first home game in Seattle since 2022. But what they will not be able to say is first time they've scored a run at home.
Yes.
Because the last time that they've scored a run at home was still back in 2001. They did not score at home this postseason.
Yeah.
So that streak ongoing.
Such a weird game
that
was.
Hurts.
What a weird way for
That
them to
sucks.
have their one. I mean, at least they got basically 2 games out of that one game.
Yes, that's what I was thinking was kind of the bright part is you're all right, hopefully if we can at least get 4, we can go to game 4 and then maybe if we win.
But think of all those fans who had to stop buying their beers in the 7th inning and then had to go 11 more innings.
I like where you're going with this. Do you have a solution?
Do I have a solution? I mean, I think at some point they should reopen the bars.
Probably.
They should reopen those concessions.
After another 7 innings. So in the 14th,
yes.
So you say, okay, you can drink through the 7th, and then they stop selling.
Mm-hmm.
So then after 7 innings of sobriety, it's back on again.
Just like I was
not?
just thinking about people
that.
who were like, really getting after it during the game, and then they think like, I'll be out of here in a couple of hours, and they're just like sobering up, becoming hungover at the park. Like that's rough. That's rough.
All right, how about this?
Okay.
After 7 innings, stop all alcohol sales.
Mm-hmm.
Then after 7 innings of scoreless baseball, or it doesn't have to be scoreless, but 7 innings of tied, so in the 14th, free Jello shots.
Free Jello shots. I love
Yes?
that. I love that.
Could be.
I love that.
That could work. I know you also love, not low key, you just love Phillies taking out Atlanta.
my
Both
gosh.
teams from the NL East with 101 wins.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Who cares about 101 wins? Philly has the vibe right now. They have that energy.
Who cares about 111 wins with the Dodgers? We'll
Who
talk about
cares?
that in a second. I mean, who was your? They don't give out a NLDS MVP award. Who would you have given yours out to?
Ooh.
In the Phillies series?
I mean, Brycey Baby was cooking.
He was good. 8 for 16.
Yes.
2 homers.
Yeah.
5 RBI. Score 4. Always a great beard. So he's always in the
Encyclopedia
running.
Patrick. Thank you.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah.
He did it. Reese Hoskins with, I mean, that was the biggest pimp job before Josh Naylor's. Although that was more of a home run celebration.
The bat spike.
The bat that was more of a
spike.
pimp job. Naylor was more of the celebration.
Yeah.
I said, and I think Hershey.
Oh.
They're not. If the Phillies win the World Series, they might as well say instead of saying, "Hey, we're going to Disneyland." No, we're going to Hershey Park.
Yes.
And they should rename the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup the Reese's RHYS
Yes.
Philadelphia Cup. And if you want to put cream cheese in it instead of peanut butter, I don't care.
Ew.
Susie is going to get those commemorative Reese's Philadelphia cups. And she's going to eat them because she's repping Philly.
You know what? I would still just rather have a peanut butter cup named after Reese Hoskins.
All right, rookie
But I
hazing.
guess I will eat a cream cheese cup if I have to.
All right, rookie hazing. There we go. If the Phillies win the World Series, we'll get you a fashionable chocolate bar, whether it's dark chocolate or milk chocolate, with a little dollop of cream cheese.
Deal.
That doesn't sound bad. There we go.
Deal. You realize though, like
No,
the longer
there's no flip side.
no,
Oh.
I've already agreed to this.
Okay.
It's live. Everyone's watching. You do realize though, the further the Phillies get in the postseason, the more of a nightmare I'm going to become.
I'm down for that.
Like I've been
I'm
like
down for that.
I like literally the other night when the Phillies made it, I put in an inquiry for a jet to take me from here
Inquiry?
to San Diego. Like I have an email, like this guy from a private jet company was like, yeah, what can we do for you? And I'm like, oh no.
Wow.
Not too far. Yeah, I want to get out there to San Diego.
Well, if there's room on the private jet, I think I could probably get in last minute with my BBWAA card.
Yeah.
So I'll cover it on the press side. You can get it down on the field.
Yeah.
We can record the crazy. Are Phillies fans going to be flying out to San Diego?
Yeah.
You
I
think?
I think so.
You think they're going to cash in all their Wawa points to get a flight?
You can fly American Airlines with Wawa points.
Yeah. I would have guessed Spirit would have been more. Spirit seems like more of a Wawa points taker. I think perhaps we've got a lot of really good San Diego versus Philly content coming up.
Do we?
On Tuesday? But yeah, Reese's Philadelphia Cups. If it was mayo, sounds gross on milk chocolate, but cream cheese and like a
Actually,
dark
it
chocolate,
could work.
that may legit work. What if it was like a cream cheese that had like a little bit of like raspberry in it?
Oh.
That could be oddly delightful.
Actually, Patrick. Actually. Maybe.
Do we know it? That could be even served as an hors d'oeuvre, like actively by like at Phillies parties. I don't know.
You know what? I'm gonna have some Phillies parties at my house, so maybe I will serve those.
Fellow Philadelphia Duchess of Philly, Allie Monroy may want to just like pop in the middle of the
Duchess of
show.
Philly.
She may just have to like pop in and be like, oh, I've heard about these cream cheese cups.
Yeah, where is she?
They sound really delicious.
Why isn't she talking about the Phillies with me?
Yeah, Philly fanatic.
We're gonna be horrendous to deal with
It's
this whole week.
Philadelphia. Again, it's the devil you know versus the devil you don't. And that's what Dodgers, Phillies, I think, was all about. But look, if you do decide to go out to San Diego or Philadelphia or Houston, even that's even close. You could decide last minute to go to Houston, and if you do, get your tickets on Game Time. Don't just go to the Game Time app or the website for Game Time tickets. Make sure you're using the link in our description. It actually does give us some credit, so it's a nice way of saying thanks for the free podcast or the free show here on YouTube on the DNVR Sports channel. But you can get fantastic seats, and probably the biggest thing besides just getting really good seats at a fair price, we're not going to have all these crazy surcharges and things of that nature, is you can get seats up to 60% off of the face value. That includes some postseason games because they allow you to get those tickets up to like the last minute.
Yeah.
So, everyone's already going to the stadium at a certain point. They might be tailgating and they want to get there. They want to feel the vibe. They want to watch, the Jumbotron, see what kind of hype packages, who's throwing out the first pitch, who's going to be there. So you want to almost get inside the building in the first 2 hours, which means there's going to be nobody standing outside who needs a ticket. So now those brokers are going to be desperate. That's where Game Time is helping you app.
Cash in on that desperation.
Cash in on the desperation. I love it. 15 million people have already been doing so for all the best seats at your favorite events. That includes concerts as well. So hit the link in our description to make sure that you're saving. And at any of those pregame parties that you might be having, whether it's an album release, we'll have to talk about that, or you're just celebrating your favorite Rockies rival getting bounced from the postseason. Make sure that beef comes from Hassel Cattle Company and HassleCattleCompany.com. Secure your bag of beef. Use code DNVR20 for 20% off your entire purchase. It's the blue-collar American Wagyu because it's top shelf, but it's also affordable. Their beef can be shipped anywhere in just days. If you just want to get a taste before purchasing, guess what? Head to our tailgates.
Yes.
This is synergy. All of this is like linked up.
Yes.
And it's perfect.
I mean, everything always comes back to the tailgates.
It always comes back to that. And membership at the DNVR.com, 50 cents for your first month. It just makes all the sense in the world. HassleCattleCompany.com, DNVR20 for 20% off. So it seems like most people preferred the devil that they knew the devil they didn't know. Mm-hmm. And so, you know what? Let's take the Padres. Let's kind of root more against the Dodgers than the Padres. We've gotten what we've wished for. The Dodgers are out. So the Padres are still there. You got to worry about that. You got to worry about them becoming now a new superpower. They've got a long way to go. They've got this whole Phillies series.
They do have a long way to go.
But got to be careful what you wish for. That's why I was almost more comfortable with the Dodgers winning. I know what that world is like. I know what those Dodgers fans are like. Mm-hmm. And that world is normal. Mm-hmm. But now this world with Dodgers fans giving you high fives only to tell you that you're number one, that guy's everywhere now. Punching our fans out. I haven't seen any Dodgers fans punching out any Rockies fans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's fair.
So it's kind of just a weird spot. But and we're talking about creating giants. They do play a lot of Blink 182 in San Diego. But they took it too far. And now, again, we're in this new world. We're in this new world now where the Padres, we're kind of okay with the Padres doing it because we didn't want to see the Dodgers do it.
I'm not okay with so the Padres, if you were watching the game, they were playing All the Small Things, better known in Colorado as the anthem of the Stanley Cup champion Colorado Avalanche.
Avs anthem. Yeah.
The Avs anthem. And San Diego is just taking it for themselves.
Not cool.
Not cool. I can't believe you would even hint that we should root for San Diego.
No, I'm saying we should have been pulling for the Dodgers to win.
No.
Or rather pulling more for the Padres to have lost. Than pulling for the Dodgers.
Yeah.
We're okay. We know that world, what it's like, where the Dodgers are a mega power. The Padres, what happens if they become a mega power now too?
That's why we have to root for the Phillies. You have to.
We can get lucky and have that happen, then that's okay. But we open Pandora's box and allowed that to happen. Just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. We're okay with that world in which the Dodgers are the only problem and the only fan base that's a problem. Now the Padres and their fans are a problem.
Everyone's
Just
a problem.
saying.
Well, listen, when you're a Rockies fan, everyone's the problem.
Hey, that's the quote right there. That's the quote. Very true.
Yeah.
Someone pointed out Freddie Freeman. And again, no one really necessarily wants to dunk on Freddie Freeman, but he goes to the Dodgers, and that extends his season because Atlanta also got knocked out. It extended his season by 4 hours. So that's just kind of funny, but poor Freddie Freeman.
Poor Freddie Freeman. He can't
be
win.
okay.
You know what? He's going to be okay. He's going to live a long, happy life after this hardship.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Here's something that may blow your mind away.
Okay.
We haven't said this on the podcast. So the Dodgers were 22 games better than the Padres, second place Padres, who have home field advantage because they are the higher seed. We've got the 5 against the 6. We'll talk about that tomorrow. But the Dodgers were 22 games better than the Padres.
That's so many games.
So many games.
so many
They were
games.
so much better than the Padres. And guess what? The Padres weren't that much better than the Rockies. The Padres only finished 21 games better than the Rockies.
Oh.
Let that sink in for a second.
Wow.
That's kind of wild, right? The Dodgers, 22 games better than another team that even got into the postseason. Padres, 21 games better than the last place Rockies. Think about that. Wild, right? It's kind of
This
weird.
blows my mind.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's not weird is the idea that the 3 teams right now that have advanced to the championship series, they have all partaken in tanking. That is all paid off for them in general. Now the Phillies did it the worst. If I was giving grades to any of their tank jobs, by far they were the worst. They got a D. In fact, ESPN wrote an article 2 years ago saying that their tank job failed. I think that's true, and a lot of that didn't have to necessarily do with Matt Klentak, no longer their GM. They brought in Dave Dombrowski. Had more to do with Ruben Amaro, who was the guy that was there for the back-to-back World Series runs in 2008, which they did win, and 2009. But that was because they held on to their guys far too long.
Yeah.
They said, oh, yeah, we'll keep Ryan Howard for a little bit longer, and Chase Utley. They waited too long to get rid of Utley, Hamels, even Ken Giles, and that kind of impacted what they were able to get back from it. And really, their rebuild has just been in free agency, right? Bryce Harper, Castellanos, Kyle Schwarber, Zach Wheeler, all those guys. Only real homegrowns as far as the big name guys would be Rhys Hoskins and Aaron Nola. That's it. So
Wow. Yeah,
overall,
that's true.
their tank didn't work very well. They barely got into the postseason, but nevertheless, that's part of the narrative right now.
Yeah.
San Diego, I sort of give them a C+ job. Did take them a while. I think they did it, a lot longer. They've got nothing left in their farm system.
Nothing left.
No, they've gone all in, and Tatis isn't even one of those homegrown guys. He was someone that they did get via trade. That's how they've built this team is through the trade. Machado and Ha-Seong Kim are really their only free agents that they've gotten. Kim, I wouldn't even say is that. He stepped up in a big way this year.
Yeah.
But if you think about their biggest guys, they all came via trade. So they did a good job in the draft, pumped those guys up, made them look good, and said, okay, you covet this guy? Here, you take him and give us your already established star to keep this window open right here, right now.
Yeah.
And
Well, listen, I'm surprised that they even kept the window open this season.
Yeah.
So
With Tatis being out.
with Tatis being out, yes, especially.
That's a big one. Yeah, I think they still probably have at least 2 more years of having that window open. They have enough of those guys that are going to be around before they hit free agency. Soto's one of those guys. We'll wait to see what happens with him. Yeah. But obviously, number 1 on the list with 15 in the ALDS, they had 15 of their own guys, homegrown, that were either international free agents, signed at 16, 17 years old, or taken up in the draft, and 6 ALCS consecutive in a row for the Houston Astros. They tanked at the same time as the Cubs, who they got their World Series ring, and they've already, broken it down. Astros are still maintaining everything that they did in their tank job. Say what you will about sign stealing scandal, whether it was a year or 2, but sign stealing doesn't make talent. Sign stealing doesn't give you depth in your organization or make you have, great trades necessarily, right? So they A+ job, They tanked. They got Yordan Alvarez, their entire 2015 draft. Alex Bregman, superstar there. They go ahead and lose Carlos Correa. replenish him with a Jeremy Pena, who was a guy who was just playing last year in the Arizona Fall League, and now he's contributing in meaningful games in October. It's a big jump.
That is a huge jump. That is a very quick timeline right there.
Yeah, so they're still reaping the benefits of that. We'll wait and see what happens with the Yankees. Yankees have never really tanked. I think it was 2016 was the year that they traded away both Andrew Miller and Aroldis Chapman because they were out of it. And that ended up bringing in Gleyber Torres, Clint Frazier, a couple guys that they ended up using in like kind of other deals. But and then they re-signed Aroldis Chapman, proving you can trade a player and then still re-sign him in free agency.
Yes.
It is possible. And Cleveland never tanks. They're either perpetually tanking. Well, they're not tanking because they just can't afford guys, so they're just going to trade them away. You got Emmanuel Clase as like the best closer possibly in the game right now. Corey Kluber deal. They go, all right, we can't afford Corey Kluber. He's got a year 2 left on his deal. Texas, you take him. We'll take a young fireball and Clase, get that done. Francisco Lindor. In the same offseason that you had Lindor, Carlos Correa, Trevor Story, Javi Baez, all those guys heading into free agency, Corey Seager, Cleveland did the best. They ended up trading away Lindor, and they got an all-star in Andres Jimenez out of that deal. Ahmed Rosario has been fantastic for them. So that deal worked out really nice. Cubs, we know, got PCA, Pete Crow Armstrong, whose mom was the mom in Little Big League.
What?
Yeah, well, we'll break down all the weird baseball movie connections.
We'll have a baseball movie episode.
Are you a big Little Big League fan?
A
baseball movie?
I don't know if I've seen it.
It's on the bottom-ish rung. I know some people that's their favorite.
What year did that come out?
It might have been around 93, 94.
Yeah.
So like Rookie of the Year was 1992, and you go, oh, the kid's in the game. And then someone goes, even better, he's the manager. And you're like, that's not better necessarily. But all right, the kid's the manager. It would have been better if it was the reverse. The first game was it was the kid as a manager, and then the kid gets to be a player. That maybe would have been better for both of those franchises that only have one film in said franchise. But nevertheless, Cleveland has done a great job in managing their guys. Look, they can't afford them. They trade them away. They do a good job like Tampa. You might not know the roster, but you know each and every year they're going to come back really strong. So they're like always rebuilding, and they always get it right. So
always stay working on yourself. That's the lesson right there.
Yes, they changed their image this last year.
Yes,
right?
They did a whole rebrand.
They did a whole rebrand. Something the Rockies won't do, and that's very nice. I think that's nice. Do you like that idea? I think we probably talked about this recently, that they've been so traditional and they really haven't gone crazy with like a fuchsia and then a pink and purple jersey.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Diamondbacks have had so many rebrands. The Marlins have had so many rebrands. The Rays, not so much. They've kind of essentially stayed true to their palette, but they were the Devil Rays, now they're the Rays, whereas the Rockies, they've tried to stay classic. Do you like that?
I think in this day and age, for the younger franchises, it's probably hard to just stay true to what you started with, because it's like, oh, well, we haven't been doing it for that long. We're not married to it. Let's try something new. And the fact that the Rockies have stayed very consistent with their look, I like that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that's definitely paid off. I think the City Connect has been a nice thing for them to be able to just have something new there in their closet, literally and figuratively. That's been really good. So, I'm excited for the game tonight. Game 1 of the NLCS will be tomorrow. We'll break all that down tomorrow at 11. Another live show at 11 on Wednesday. Another live show on Thursday at 11. It will be great. And, we'll have to talk about Hassel Cattle Company beef at any kind of pre-game parties or even pre-album release parties that may be going on this week. Very exclusive events. Do you have tickets given out to this exclusive event?
I don't have tickets, but I will say if you're a Swiftie and you really want to come, just let me know.
Now, is this a legit Taylor Swift album, or is this a Taylor's version type gimmick?
No, this is a new album. This is all new music.
Okay.
So it's called Midnights. It's 13 different songs that she wrote in the middle of various sleepless nights.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm very excited. In terms of our historical fiction podcast that we do, the Taylor Swift single that was released before that postseason.
Yes.
Our song. Our song is a slam screen door.
Oh, I might know that.
Yeah, you know that song.
I may know that.
Yeah.
Now when she was still doing the country thing.
Back when she was still country. Yeah, so that was, she only had one album out at that point in 2007.
Wow.
Yeah.
She hadn't met Kanye West yet?
She had not met Kanye yet.
She hadn't been blessed by his presence yet?
Blessed, sure.
There's quotation marks around it. I pronounced it. You might not have heard it. It's like a dog whistle. You can only barely hear it.
Yeah.
For the right pitch. But yes, what else happened in 2007 that we have to make sure that we have in our black and white DNVR retro? RTRO? No, there's still a vowel in there. That doesn't work.
Yeah, but
We'll use it.
CHGO
We'll use
has
it.
a vowel. Sometimes you
RTRO.
need one vowel.
Yeah, I can't think of what else happened in 2007, but that was the time. That was the time to be alive. I hope folks enjoy that. I've gotten some good feedback already for that 15th anniversary. That window where the Rockies were going to the World Series. They're about to go to Fenway Park. I don't know if they'd even played at Fenway Park up to that point yet.
Oh, wow. That's true.
They may have once.
The year 2007 was the year, it was Bob Barker hosted his last episode of The Price is Right.
R.I.P.
That was a thing.
Lot of. It was a big year. Yeah.
That was the year that Dick Cheney served as acting president for a few hours while George W. Bush got a colonoscopy. Also that year.
So if you get a colonoscopy, you're technically dead during that period of time? How does that?
I guess he was incapacitated, so.
I'd say. Interesting. Yeah, that's a curious one there. Man, yeah, it was just such a special time. I love hearing from Rockies fans about that because, despite the fact that it was a 4-game sweep against the Red Sox there, and then the Red Sox come to Coors Field, do it on their soil. So as we kind of joked about the Mariners still not having scored a run at home since 2001. You go, well, the Rockies haven't won a World Series game in Colorado, well, ever, but also not at Coors Field is kind of a bummer. But as I point out in the article, the Mariners have never woken up in any morning and said, my team is going to the World Series. Or my team is in the World Series. Think about that.
Yeah.
1977, never been to the World Series. In fact, in 2007, that was their 30th anniversary.
Oof.
And the Rockies were in it. And now we're celebrating the 30th anniversary. Full circle.
Full circle. Patrick, well said.
Full
well said.
circle change up. ALDS Game 5 tonight. Make sure you watch it. I'm sure we'll be tweeting plenty about it at DNVR_Rockies on Twitter. We're going to do it again all week at 11, but the Suzie Show is a special one.
The Suzie Show,
At 5.
I like when the Suzie Shows lead into FAC, the Friday Afternoon Club here at the DNVR Bar.
Yeah.
I like to think of it as mine and Kale's little happy hour.
I like it.
It's a party.
It definitely has those happy hour vibes.
Yeah.
At Patrick D. Lyons is where I'm at on Twitter.
You can find me at the Suzie Hunter on all platforms.
This has been a lot of fun. It's a momentous occasion.
Momentous.
But look, you know what they say about momentum?
What do they say?
It's only as good as your next show. So we'll talk to you tomorrow at 11.